trace the Jupiter hexagram in the air above the talisman while vibrating the name L. If you've not yet learned the hexagram ritual, simply hold the talisman at heart height, visualize it flooding with deep blue Jupiter light, and vibrate L 3 times while projecting your will into the object. Don't get caught up on specifics. Do your best with it. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. Today is our 3rd episode that does a deep dive on the Golden Dawn. I got lots of requests to go deeper on the Golden Dawn, so I wanted to discuss the techniques that were taught by the Golden Dawn in particular for how to create wealth. Now, before we begin, the Golden Dawn always emphasized that this was not about creating financial abundance or wealth, but they also taught several techniques that were very effective in manifesting wealth. Now, it's important to note that the Golden Dawn system is not perfect, especially in its adoption of Enochian magic. But in particular, because of the way that we're treating magic, that any magical system can be effective, even if it comes from a fraudulent source, I wanted to at least discuss these techniques because some of them are very effective. Now, in the previous 2 episodes on the Golden Dawn, we explored the history and philosophy of this extraordinary magical order. And we opened the playbook, the core techniques you can begin using immediately to create your reality. Today, I want to go deeper still. Today, I want to take the powerful elements of the Golden Dawn system and apply them specifically to one of my most requested topics on this channel, the creation of wealth. I want to be clear about something from the very beginning. When I say wealth, I mean the full spectrum of abundance. Financial prosperity, yes, but also the richness of experience, the overflow of creative energy, the generosity of spirit that comes from knowing you have access to the infinite source. The Golden Dawn understood that true wealth is a state of consciousness before it is a condition of the bank account, and the techniques we're going to explore today work on both levels simultaneously. The founding document of the Rosicrucian tradition, the Fama Fraternalis of 1614, which the Golden Dawn claimed as its spiritual ancestor, invites members to become partakers with us of our treasures, which can never fail or be wasted. Treasures that can never fail or be wasted. That is a description of infinite supply. That is a description of abundance consciousness operating at its highest level. And the Golden Dawn built an entirely magical inventory around accessing it. Everything I'm about to share with you integrates directly with the techniques from the previous episodes: the Kabbalistic cross, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the middle pillar, and the God form assumption. Be sure to check out those episodes if you haven't had a chance yet. If you've been practicing those, you already have the foundation. Now we're going to add the specific frequencies, the names, colors, and practices that direct those forces towards the manifestation of wealth. Now, on the tree of life, wealth and expansion are governed by the 4th Sephirah, Chesed. Some people pronounce it Chesed, spelled C-H-E-S-E-D, also called Gedula. Chesed means grace or mercy. Gedula means greatness, and its planetary attribution is Jupiter, the king of the planets, the great benefactor, the cosmic principle of expansion, generosity, and material abundance. Everything about Chesed radiates prosperity. Its quality is construction, solidification, and growth. Where Geburah, its opposite on the tree, represents the destructive force that tears down what has outlived its usefulness. Chesed or Chesed is the builder. It is the architect of form. It is the force that takes the raw creative energy descending from the supernals and gives it structure, stability, and magnitude. The color of Chesed in the Queen scale, the scale most commonly used in practical magical work, is deep blue. The divine name attributed to Chesed is El, the simplest and most ancient name for God in the Hebrew tradition, meaning simply the Mighty One. The archangel of Chesed is Zadkiel, whose name means the righteousness of God, and the angelic order is the Chazmalim, the brilliant ones, the beings of shining radiant light. When you work with Jupiter and Chesed in the magical context, and yes, that's how it's pronounced. You are invoking the principle of divine generosity itself. You are aligning with the force in the universe that says more. More life, more energy, more substance, more form. Jupiter expands everything it touches, and the Golden Dawn provides precise techniques for invoking this force and directing it towards a specific purpose. The metal of Jupiter is tin. The day of the week is Thursday. The number is 4. The incense is cedar. The gemstone is amethyst or sapphire. Every one of these correspondences is a doorway, a point of contact between your consciousness and the Jupiterian current. When you surround yourself with these correspondences during magical work focused on wealth, you are creating a resonant field that amplifies your connection to the force of abundance. Here's something that many mystical teachers taught that maps perfectly onto Kabbalistic understanding of Chesed or Chesed. The state of the wish fulfilled is always a state of expansion. When you imagine yourself wealthy, you feel larger, more generous, more spacious. You feel like more of yourself is present. That feeling of expansion is the Chesed or Chesed frequency. You are tuning into the Jupiter current through the technology of imagination. Now I'm going to give you a complete ritual for invoking the forces of Jupiter for wealth creation. This draws directly from the Golden Dawn's own ceremonial framework, adapted for solo practice. You will use the techniques from the previous episodes as the foundation and then add the Jupiter-specific elements to direct the energy toward abundance. Choose a Thursday to perform the ritual if possible. Thursday is the day of Jupiter. The ideal time is during the planetary hour of Jupiter, which you can calculate using any free planetary hours app. But do not let timing prevent you from doing the work. Sincerity and focused intention matter far more than astrological precision. Prepare your space. Place a blue cloth on your altar. If you have a blue candle, use it. Place any objects that represent wealth and abundance to you. Coins, currency, a symbol of something you are creating, an image of your financial goal. If you have a cedar incense, light it. If you have an amethyst or sapphire, place it on the altar. These correspondences are helpers, amplifiers. They strengthen the resonance with the Jupiter current. Begin with the Kabbalistic cross. Ate Malkuth Vegebura Vegedula Leolam. Amen. Establish yourself at the center of the cosmic architecture. Perform the full lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Be sure to check out my episode on the banishing ritual. Clear the space of all dissonant energies. Establish the 4 archangels at the quarters. Create the sacred container. Perform the middle pillar exercise. Be sure to reference the last episode where I go into that in detail. Charge your entire energy field with your divine light. Pay particular attention to the Tifereth center in your heart. See it blazing with golden yellow radiance. Because Tifereth is the sun and the sun rules gold, let this golden light fill your entire body. Now comes the Jupiter Invocation itself. Face the direction of the Jupiter in the sky, or simply face east, the direction of new beginnings and the rising light. Visualize a sphere of deep royal blue forming before you, growing larger and brighter until it fills your entire field of vision. This is the sphere of Chesed, the domain of Jupiter. Raise your arms in the form of a V, the traditional gesture of invocation, and speak, "In the great name of El, I invoke the mighty forces of Jupiter and the sphere of Chesed. O thou, who art grace and greatness, expansion and abundance, hear my voice and descend into this temple." Vibrate the name El. El. Feel it resonating in your chest, in your throat, in the deep blue sphere before you. Vibrate it 3 or 4 times, each time feeling the Jupiter current growing stronger. Now invoke the archangel. O great archangel Zadkiel, righteousness of God. Thou who dost govern the forces of benevolence and prosperity, I invoke thy presence and thy power. Aid me in drawing the forces of abundance into my sphere of sensation, that I may become a vessel of divine generosity and an instrument of infinite supply. Vibrate the name Zadkiel. Zadkiel. Now it's spelled Tzadkiel. In most cases, the T is silent. Zadkiel. See the archangel forming within the blue sphere before you, a towering figure robed in deep blue and violet, holding a scepter in one hand and a cornucopia in the other, radiating warmth and generosity and the unmistakable energy of plenty. Now invoke the angelic order. O ye chazmalim, ye brilliant ones, ye shining hosts of the sphere of Jupiter, surround me with your radiance. Let the light of abundance fill this space and penetrate every corner of my life. Let every channel of supply be opened. Let every obstacle to prosperity be dissolved. Now comes the critical moment, the moment where Golden Dawn ceremonial practice meets Neville Goddard's technique. Standing in this charged field of Jupiterian energy, surrounded by the archangelic presence of Zadkiel and the shining hosts of the Chazmalim, enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel yourself wealthy. Feel it in your body. Feel the relaxation that comes with financial freedom. Feel the generosity that flows naturally from knowing you have more than enough. Feel the expansiveness, the Chesed quality of more radiating through every cell. See your life as it will be when this wealth has fully manifested. See the specific details, feel them as present reality. From within this state, make your declaration, speak it with the vibratory force the Golden Dawn taught. Feel the words traveling outward to the confines of the universe. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I am a channel of infinite supply. The treasures of the universe flow to me and through me, and they can never fail or be wasted. By the name El and by the power of Zadkiel, it is done. Close the ritual by performing the Kabbalistic cross once more. Then sit in silence for several minutes, allowing the energy to settle and integrate. Do not rush back into your ordinary routine. Let the Jupiter current permeate your consciousness. Now, one process the Golden Dawn had was creating talismans. The Golden Dawn's Talisman Consecration process is one of the most detailed and powerful techniques in the entire system. The original manuscript devotes pages to the precise procedure for charging a physical object with spiritual force until it becomes, as they described it, irresistible. And this technique applies directly to the creation of wealth. A talisman is a physical object that has been charged with a specific intention and consecrated through ceremonial means to serve as a permanent anchor for that intention in the material world. In the Golden Dawn's framework, it is talisman, a vessel prepared to receive and hold spiritual force. Think of it as a physical battery charged with the frequency of your desired reality. A talisman. Choose your material basis. This can be as simple as a piece of heavy paper or cardstock, a small metal disc, or a flat stone. The traditional metal for Jupiter talismans is tin, but any metal, any material that feels right to you will work. The Golden Dawn taught that the sincerity of the practitioner matters infinitely more than the cost of the materials. On the side of your talisman, draw or paint the symbol of Jupiter, the stylized number 4 that looks like a curved cross. Use blue ink or paint on a background of the complementary color, orange. This creates what the Golden Dawn called a flashing tablet, a symbol rendered in complementary colors that produces a visual vibration, a shimmer that catches the eye, and more importantly, catches the attention of the unconscious mind. On the reverse side, write your specific intention in clear declarative language. This talisman attracts abundant financial prosperity to its bearer. Or write in a more personal form, infinite wealth flows to me through all channels of supply, now and always. Keep the language direct and affirmative. Obviously, you're not going to be able to write it on a small piece of metal, which is why a piece of paper or something larger, a large piece of tin, can work. Keep the language direct and affirmative. No hedging, no conditions, pure declaration. You may also add the Kamiya of Jupiter, the magic square. This is a 4x4 grid of numbers from 1 to 16 arranged so that every row, column, and diagonal sums to 34. The Kamiya is a mathematical expression of Jupiter's energy. Perfect balance and order within the framework of the number 4. The number of material manifestation and stability. The Golden Dawn used these magic squares extensively in their talisman work. Now consecrate the talisman. Perform the full opening, the Kabbalistic cross, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the middle pillar, then wrap the talisman in a black cloth, place it on your altar. The black cloth represents the talisman's current state, potential that is yet to manifest, force that is yet to find form. Speak over it, creature of talismans. Long hast thou dwelt in darkness. Quit the night and seek the day. Unwrap the talisman, hold it aloft, perform the invoking hexagram of Jupiter over it, or if you have learned the full hexagram ritual from previous episodes, trace the Jupiter hexagram in the air above the talisman while vibrating the name L. If you've not yet learned the hexagram ritual, simply hold the talisman at heart height, visualize it flooding with deep blue Jupiter light, and vibrate L 3 times while projecting your will into the object. Don't get caught up on specifics. Do your best with it. The Golden Dawn's instructions say to project the whole current of your will upon the talisman using the sign of the Emperor, the forward-leaning gesture of projecting force. Do this. Lean forward with your arms extended, pointing at the talisman, and push your concentrated intention into it like a beam of light. Then immediately give the sign of silence. Bring your right index finger to your lips to seal the charge and prevent energy from dissipating. The original texts say that when properly charged, a flashing light or glory should be seen playing and flickering on the talisman. You may or may not perceive this visually, but you will feel the amount when the charge takes hold, a sense of completion, a subtle shift in the quality of the object, a feeling that it has become something more than what it was. Wrap the talisman in a clean cloth, white or blue, and keep it in a place of respect. Carry it with you when conducting business, negotiating, making financial decisions, or anytime you want to amplify the Jupiter current in your life. The Golden Dawn specifically instructs that after consecration you should avoid performing any banishing ritual over the talisman, as this would discharge it. We can also adapt and change the middle pillar exercise. Here is an adaptation of the middle pillar exercise specifically designed for wealth creation. This takes the standard practice and layers the Jupiter correspondence into it, creating a powerful daily meditation for amplifying abundance. Begin as usual, stand comfortably, eyes closed. Formulate the brilliant white sphere of Cedar above your head. Vibrate As I described in the previous episode, you can vibrate that multiple times, imagining light above your head. Draw the light down into Doth in your throat, and you vibrate Yehovah Elohim. You continue to vibrate that a few times, and then down to Tifereth in your heart, and you vibrate Yehovah Eloah Vada'ath. Now at Tifereth, you pause. Instead of immediately descending down the middle pillar, expand the golden light in your heart center outward and to the left, seeing it flowing to a sphere that forms at the level of your left shoulder, slightly forward, the position of Chesed on the tree of life when mapped onto the body. The sphere glows with a deep royal blue light, and you vibrate El over and over 3 times or more. You feel that Jupiter quality flooding into your field. Feel the expansion. Feel the sense of more than enough. Feel the generosity, the grace, the greatness. Hold this for several breaths and allow the blue light of Chesed to mingle with the golden light of Tifereth. Blue and gold together, the colors of royalty, the colors of sovereignty, the colors of abundance. Now invoke Zadkiel silently. Feel the archangelic presence behind and within that blue sphere. Feel this quality of divine righteousness, the deep knowing that abundance is your birthright, that prosperity is the natural expression of a consciousness aligned with its source. Continue the descent. Move the light down to Yesod in your gut and vibrate Shaddai El Chai right there in your groin. Shaddai El Chai. Here at the astral template level, see the blue Jupiter light mixing with the violet of Yesod. This is the level where the wealth blueprint is encoded. See the template of your abundant life. The numbers in your accounts, the freedom in your schedule, the quality of your daily experience, imprinted upon this sphere like a design stamp into wax. Feel it as accomplished. Feel it as already real. Then descend to Malkuth at your feet. Right at your feet, see that black sphere and see you vibrate Adonai Haaretz. Adonai Haaretz. See the abundance growing and grounding into the physical world. See the blueprint coming into matter, from the spirit into matter at your feet, into the earth below. Feel wealth arriving into your hands, your life, your material reality. Sometimes I like to actually feel tangible wealth in my hands, feeling the money in my hands. Now you circulate the energy as in the standard middle pillar, but you visualize the circulating light carrying streaks of deep blue, Jupiter energy through your entire aura. See your aura pulsating with gold and blue, solar and Jupiterian energy combined. The frequency of wealth radiating from you in all directions, like a signal broadcasting your abundance to the universe. This adapted middle pillar can be performed daily. Thursday is the most potent day according to the Golden Dawn. But daily practice builds cumulative momentum. I've never been caught up in those requirements to do this on an exact day. But try it, why not? The Golden Dawn's teaching is consistent on this point. Regular, disciplined practice over time produces results that sporadic, intense effort cannot match. So if you do it one time or two times, it's probably not going to work. Wealth consciousness is built through repetition, just like a muscle. Now, in the previous episode, we discussed the 4 elemental weapons of the Golden Dawn: the wand, the cup, the dagger, and the pentacle. Each corresponds to a stage of manifestation and a letter of the divine name, YHVH, some say Yehovah, or the unpronounceable name. Let me show you how these 4 principles apply specifically to the creation of wealth. The wand is fire. It is will. It is the initial decision, the spark of desire, the moment you choose wealth. In practical terms, this is the moment you set your financial intention with absolute clarity. How much? By when? For what purpose? The wand demands specificity. The Golden Dawn taught that magical operations succeed or fail based on the clarity and force of the initial intention. If your wealth goal is vague, I want more money, the wand has no point. It fires in all directions and hits nothing. Choose a specific number. Choose a specific timeline. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Vibrate it with the force of the divine name. I want $1 million. You can say that exact thing, whatever it is that you want. Now, the cup is water. It is the receptive imagination. This is the Neville Goddard territory, the state of the wish fulfilled. The cup receives the impression of the desired reality and holds it. In wealth creation, this means feeling wealthy now, living in the assumption of abundance before the evidence arrives. Drinking deeply from the cup means saturating your consciousness with the emotional reality of financial freedom until your nervous system cannot distinguish between the imagined state and the physical condition. The cup is feminine, receptive, patient. It does not force, it receives and contains. The dagger is air. It is the discriminating mind. This is the weapon that cuts away every contradicting belief, every doubt, every habitual thought pattern that opposes your wealth intention. The Golden Dawn uses the dagger for banishing, clearing the space of unwanted influences. In wealth creation, the dagger is your capacity to identify and eliminate internal narratives that block abundance. Money is hard to come by. Money takes a long time to manifest. Rich people are dishonest. I do not deserve this. This could never happen for me. Each of those beliefs is an astral entity, a thought form, a pendulum, living in your sphere of sensation, and the dagger banishes them with precision and authority. It can be fun to have actual cups and daggers, all of these things in your magical process. It's part of what affects the subconscious. Every time you catch a scarcity thought and replace it with an abundance declaration, you are wielding the dagger. The pentacle is earth. It is manifestation. It is the final grounding of attention into physical reality through action and embodiment. The Golden Dawn insisted that magic operates through the practitioner, through their choices and behaviors in the material world. The pentacle of wealth, consciousness, is the action you take from the state of abundance. It is the business you build, the investment you make, the value you create, the service you offer. It is your feet on the ground, your hands in the work, your body moving through the world as a person who already possesses what they are creating. Without the pentacle, the other three weapons remain purely internal. The pentacle completes the circuit and brings the wealth into form. The wand, the cup, the dagger, the pentacle, intention, imagination, discrimination, action, fire, water, air, earth, yod, he, vow, he. This is the complete formula of manifestation encoded in the 4 letters of the divine name. And when applied to wealth with consistency and conviction, it is unstoppable. Now, I keep returning to this connection with Neville Goddard and using the imagination and new thought because it matters deeply. Israel Regardie, the man who published the entire Golden Dawn system, the man who served as Aleister Crowley's personal secretary, the man who spent his life mastering ceremonial magic and combining it with psychotherapy, looked at Neville Goddard and declared, of all the metaphysical systems with which I am acquainted, Neville's is the most magical. And the Neville system at its core is a system of wealth creation. His first book was titled, Your Faith is Your Fortune. He spoke constantly about the creative power of assumption, the ability to assume a state of consciousness and have reality conform to it. He told story after story of students who manifested specific sums of money, specific business opportunities, specific financial breakthroughs by applying the techniques of imagining the wish fulfilled from the feeling of already having it. What Regardie recognized was that Neville had distilled the entire Golden Dawn ceremonial apparatus into a single, devastatingly effective practice. The pentagrams, the divine names, the archangelic invocations, the hexagram rituals, the talismanic consecrations, to me are all tricks. All of it existed to accomplish one thing, to develop the practitioner's ability to hold a vivid, emotionally charged state of consciousness with unwavering focus. And Neville could do that with nothing but his imagination and the words I am. The Golden Dawn realized that in some cases, people just simply can't use their imagination, so they developed this magical technology to develop your imagination to reach that point of success. Here's what this means for your wealth practice. You can use both approaches simultaneously, and they amplify each other. The Golden Dawn ceremonial work prepares the ground, it clears the space, it charges your energy field, it connects you to the accumulated spiritual force of over a century of dedicated practitioners. And the Neville technique delivers the payload, the specific, vivid, emotionally real experience of being the wealthy version of yourself, held in the drowsy state between waking and sleeping, where it imprints the Yesod template and crystallizes into physical reality. This is the combination I use in my own practice. This is what I teach. This is what works. None of this is required by you. I know that some people will completely ignore this. I get that. I understand that completely. I want to just be a resource. If this is something that calls to you, that makes this fun, then give it a try. Maybe it can amplify your practice. It's all an experiment anyway. All you can do is just try it, experiment with it. And if it works, then keep on doing it. It's going to be different for everybody because that's the process of magic. Everybody's state is different. Everybody is utilizing this differently. I just say have fun with it. I love to learn new things and try it. So give this a try. Let me give you a complete daily protocol for wealth creation that integrates everything we've covered in all 3 Golden Dawn episodes. This is the distilled essence, a practice you can maintain 20 to 30 minutes daily that systematically builds wealth consciousness and accelerates financial manifestation. In the morning, the clearing and charging, perform the Kabbalistic cross and the full lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Follow that with the middle pillar exercise, including the Chesed expansion, described earlier in this episode. And as you circulate the energy, see your aura pulsating with golden blue, the combined frequencies of the sun and Jupiter. Finish by holding your Jupiter Talisman, if you've created one, in both hands, charging it with fresh energy, and stating your wealth intentions aloud with vibratory force. Place the talisman in your pocket on your person. It could be a simple piece of paper. By midday, pause for 60 seconds, perform the Kabbalistic cross. Ate, Malkuth, Vegebula, Vegejula, Leolam, Amen. Silently. Touch your Jupiter Talisman. Vibrate your name L once. Internally feel the Chesed expansion, the sense of more than enough spreading through your body. Return to your day carrying that frequency. And then at night is their creation session. Perform the Kabbalistic cross and the LBRP again. Perform the full Jupiter middle pillar exercise that I described earlier. You can also find it in my Golden Dawn meditation. Then enter the God form assumption of your wealthy future self. Build the form. Step into it. Vibrate Ehie from within it. Ehie, which means I am. And make your declaration of abundance. Hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled as you allow yourself to drift towards sleep. Let the last thought before unconsciousness be the feeling of wealth. The Chesed quality of expansion, generosity, and limitless supply. It's not about the magic. It's not about the mantra or the words or the ritual. It's the feeling of expansion. On Thursday, the full Jupiter ritual. Once a week on Thursday, perform the complete Jupiter Invocation described earlier in this episode. This is your weekly intensifier, the session where you bring the full force of ceremonial structure to bear on your wealth intention. Use all the Jupiter correspondences, blue cloth, blue candle, cedar incense, the Jupiter symbol, your talisman on the altar, money on the altar. Make this session longer, more deliberate, more ceremonial. This weekly rhythm creates a pulse of Jupiterian energy that builds cumulative momentum. The Golden Dawn's fourth knowledge lecture tells us to obtain magical power, learn to control thought, admit only true ideas which are in harmony with the end desired. Apply this principle relentlessly to your financial life. Every thought about money that arises in your consciousness is either aligned with your wealth intention or opposed to it. The dagger of air cuts away everything opposed. The cup of water holds the vision of abundance. The wand of fire sustains the will. And the pentacle of earth grounds it all through action. Golden Dawn's hexagram ritual is the planetary counterpart to the elementary pentagram ritual. While the pentagram works with the 4 elements plus spirit, the hexagram works directly with the 7 classical planets. And for wealth creation, the invoking hexagram of Jupiter is one of the most potent tools in the entire ceremonial arsenal. The hexagram is a 6-pointed star formed from 2 interlocking triangles, just like a Merkaba. One pointing upward is fire, one pointing downward is water. Together, they represent the perfect union of macrocosm and microcosm, as above, so below, expressed in geometric form. The Golden Dawn called it the signet of the macrocosm, just as the pentagram was called the signet of the microcosm. Each planet is assigned to a specific point of the hexagram. Saturn sits at the top, the moon at the bottom. Jupiter is assigned to the lower right point of the upper triangle. To invoke Jupiter, you trace the first triangle starting from the Jupiter point, moving clockwise, and then trace the second triangle starting from the point opposite Jupiter, also clockwise. You finish by drawing the symbol of Jupiter in the center of the completed hexagram. Here's the practical application. After performing the LBRP and the middle pillar, face each of the 4 cardinal directions in turn and trace the invoking hexagram of Jupiter in the air before you, exactly as you would trace the pentagrams in the LBRP. As you trace each hexagram, vibrate the name Ararita, A-R-A-R-I-T-A, the divine name associated with the hexagram ritual. Formed from the Hebrew initials of the phrase, one is his beginning, one is his individuality. His permutation is one. Then vibrate the name El, the divine name of Chesed and Jupiter, as you draw the Jupiter symbol in the center. This creates a field of Jupiterian invocation of all four quarters surrounding you with the force of expansion and abundance from every direction. The effect is palpable. Many practitioners report a sensation of warmth, fullness, or expansive pressure in the chest and solar plexus during a well-performed Jupiter Hexagram invocation. This is the Chesed current activating in your energy field. If the hexagram ritual feels complex at this stage of your practice, there is a simpler approach. Simply stand in the center of your space after the LBRP and middle pillar. Visualize a large golden blue hexagram floating before you with the Jupiter symbol, blazing in its center, and vibrate the names El and Zadkiel while directing your intention toward abundance. The visualization combined with the vibratory names and focused intention will invoke the Jupiter current effectively, even without the formal geometric tracing. Precision matters, but sincerity matters more. The Golden Dawn was clear on this. Solemnity, ceremony, and reverence are the keys. Technique without feeling is empty ritual. Feeling without technique is unfocused daydreaming. The combined selection of technique and feeling is magic. The Golden Dawn taught that every human being is surrounded by an ovoid field of subtle energy called the sphere of sensation, or the aura. This aura is described as an egg of light that interpenetrates and surrounds the physical body. And here is the critical insight for wealth creation. The color, quality, and charge of your aura directly influences what you attract and repel in the physical world. The fifth knowledge lecture gives explicit instructions for learning to control the aura. It teaches the practitioner to make the aura negative or positive at will, meaning you can deliberately open it to certain influences and close it to others. It says that when you encounter someone who depletes your vitality, you should imagine that your aura is hardened at the edge so they are unable to penetrate it. Apply this principle to wealth. Many people walk through their financial lives with auras that are porous to scarcity consciousness. Every news headline about economic downturn, every conversation about how expensive everything is, every social media post about financial struggle, all of it penetrates their sphere of sensation and reinforces the frequency of lack. The Golden Dawn say these people have failed to establish control over their aura. Here's the technique. After performing the middle pillar with the Chesed expansion or Chesed expansion, take a moment to deliberately program your aura. See it clearly. An oval of luminous light extending about 3 feet in every direction from your body. See it suffused with the golden blue Jupiter light. Now speak to it directly, as the Golden Dawn practitioner would address a talisman. I charge this sphere of sensation with the frequency of abundance. I close this aura to all influences of scarcity, lack, and financial limitation. I open this aura to all channels of supply, all opportunities for prosperity, all expressions of infinite wealth by the name El and the power of Zadkiel. This sphere is charged and sealed. Visualize the outer edge of your aura hardening slightly, becoming a membrane that admits abundance and repels scarcity. See it glowing with the unmistakable radiance of someone who has more than enough. This is your wealth aura. This is the energetic signature you broadcast to the universe with every step you take. The Golden Dawn taught that once you have practiced controlling your aura for some time, you should be able to shift its quality at will, opening to influences you want, closing it to those you do not. Financial mastery begins here, in the invisible field around your body, long before it appears in your bank balance. The external always follows the internal. The balance sheet always reflects the aura. Change the field, and the form must follow. This is the deeper teaching that Neville Goddard expressed when he said that the feeling is the secret. The feeling is the aura. The emotional state you sustain is the electromagnetic signature you broadcast. When you feel wealthy, when you hold the Chesed frequency of expansion and grace and generosity in your sphere of sensation, you are performing the most fundamental act of wealth magic there is. The ceremonies amplify it. The talismans anchor it. The divine names charge it, but the feeling is the foundation. It has always been the foundation, and now you know how to build it. Now, people like to talk about secret societies and the Illuminati. I can guarantee you, if there are people getting rich by being in secret societies and the Illuminati, they are using techniques exactly like this. I'm opening you up to this now. These techniques have been held in secret, diminished by saying, oh, it's all just poppycock, unproved, woo-woo, because they don't want you to use it. They have taken control of powerful ancient magical techniques to create their own wealth. I'm trying to give it to you. You can deny this all you want, but if people are using it and it's working, then give it a try. Put it in the comments. You try any of this and suddenly you find wealth, then what else do I have to say? I'm just giving you different tools. Some of these might not work for you. And in fact, you don't need to use these. If your imagination is vivid enough, if you can use just the techniques of Neville Goddard that we've been working on, that's enough. But there's a reason this stuff works, because it trains your subconscious and your imagination to utilize these forces to manifest whatever it is that you want. Now, there's one final technique I want to give you because it brings together every thread. It's the God form assumption, adapted entirely for financial abundance. Instead of assuming a generic future self, you're going to build and step into a specific wealth identity, a version of yourself that embodies the Chesed principle, the Chesed principle of overflowing prosperity. Begin the LBRP in the middle pillar. Stand at the center of your space. Now build the image of your wealthy self standing directly in front of you. See this version of yourself dressed as wealth dresses in your imagination. See the quality of their posture, the relaxed shoulders of someone who has never worried about money a day in their life. See the calm, generous expression on their face. See the radiance of their aura, a deep blue glow suffused with golden light, the unmistakable signature of Chesed operating at full power. Now notice the environment surrounding this wealthy self. See the home they live in, the car they drive, the experiences they enjoy, the people they serve, the philanthropy they engage in, the freedom they experience in every moment of every day. Build this image with lavish, unapologetic detail. The Golden Dawn taught that the more vivid and specific the imagination, the more powerfully it operates upon the subtle planes. When the image is as vivid as you can make it, step forward into the form. Feel it settling around you. Feel your breathing change, your heart rate slow, the deep, visceral certainty of wealth saturating every cell. This is the Chesed frequency made personal, the Jupiter embodied in your own skin. From this form, vibrate L. Feel the name resonating through the wealth body you're now entering. Then vibrate Ehie. Ehie, I am. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am the channel of infinite supply. The identity is sealed with the oldest name of God. Why does the I am work? Why do I am affirmations work? Because you're taking on the God form. Now speak your declaration of wealth from this form with full vibratory force. State the specific amount. State the specific timeline. State the specific purpose. And finish with by the power of El and the blessing of Zadkiel, by the light of Chesed and the grace of Chazmalim. You can just say Chesed and Chazmalim, so I'll do this if it's easier for you to pronounce. By the power of El and the blessing of Zadkiel, the light of Chesed and the grace of Chazmalim, the wealth is mine. It flows to me now through every channel, from every direction, in amounts that exceed my expectations. The treasures can never fail or be wasted. So it is, so it shall be. Carry this form with you as you move through the rest of your evening. Let it be the last identity you inhabit before falling asleep. The Golden Dawn's transformation rituals instruct the practitioner to remain enshrouded in the assumed form during circumambulation of the temple. Your circumambulation, which is moving around the temple when you do the LBRP, is your life. Walk through it wearing the golden form of wealth. I want to close one of the most beautiful invocations preserved in the Golden Dawn rituals. It comes from their evocation ceremonies and is addressed to the divine principle of abundance itself. The language is archaic, but the frequency is unmistakable. Listen to these words and feel what they carry. O stability and motion, O darkness veiled in brilliance, O day clothed in night, O master who never dost withhold the wages of thy workmen, O silver and harmonious diamond, thou who wearest the heavens on thy finger like a ring of sapphire, thou who hidest beneath the earth in the kingdom of gems, the marvelous seed of the stars, live, reign, and be thou the eternal dispenser of the treasures whereof thou hast made us the wardens. Let me read that last line again. The eternal dispenser of the treasures whereof thou hast made us the wardens. We are the wardens of the treasure. We are the custodians of infinite supply. The wealth already belongs to us. It is already ours to steward, to channel, to distribute. The work of magic, the rituals, the visualizations, the vibrations, the talismans, all of it exists to bring us into conscious alignment with this truth. You don't need it. It's just another tool in your process of reality creation. Be sure to check out my interview with Damien Eccles. Damien Eccles practiced these techniques in a concrete cell with fluorescent lights and steel bars, and he generated enough force to contribute to his own liberation. Neville Goddard practiced the art of assumption in a New York apartment and manifested journeys, careers, and financial freedom through the power of imagination alone. The Golden Dawn members practiced in lamplit rooms in Victoria, London, and access states of consciousness that modern psychology is only beginning to understand. And you are practicing now. With every session, every ritual, every declaration, every moment of sustained wealth consciousness, you are deepening the groove. You are strengthening the current. You are adding your energy to the Akashic memory of every practitioner who has ever done this work before you, and that memory supports you in return. The treasures can never fail or be wasted. They are yours. They have always been yours. The only question has ever been whether you would remember to claim them. You are remembering now. Every morning you perform the Kabbalistic cross. You remember every time you vibrate the name El. Every Thursday when you light that blue candle and invoke Zadkiel, you remember. Every night when you step into the golden form of your wealthy self and fall asleep wearing it like a garment of light, you remember. The memory deepens. The channel widens, the flow increases, and the treasures pour through you into the world exactly as they were always meant to be. Now, you don't have to believe any of this. It's my role just to be a teacher. I'm teaching you what they taught. And if you want to try these techniques, maybe, just maybe, it's going to help you. So put it in the comments. I would love to hear what your experiences are of this. And if you come from a particular religion or ideology that says that this is evil, then stay away from it. Don't do this unless you feel resonated with it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. My role is to give you the techniques. You choose what works for you. Anything that I'm talking about that doesn't feel like it works or resonates with you, just forget about it. I want to invite you to join the Reality Revolution community, where we're always working on advanced techniques of reality creation. I have weekly group coaching sessions and unique exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else. You can find the link in the description at www.skool.com/reality revolution. I'm sending all my light and all my love to everybody that's listening. And welcome to the Reality Revolution. Whenever I've taught about money, I've only ever been able to give you a tiny piece. I've only ever been able to give you an affirmation or a single teaching. So I'm so excited to announce that we're hosting an event in Austin on September 18th to the 20th at the Hyatt Regency, which will be a 3-day immersive event designed around manifesting large sums of money in your life, shifting you into the reality where large sums of money flow to you, becoming the person in which large sums of money flow. Over a 3-day period, you will be transformed by these unique meditational practices. You will feel money. You will hear it. You will smell it. You will taste it. You will become it. You will walk away with this having a completely different understanding of the nature of money in your life. We will take it to the most fundamental of levels. Tickets are still available. We have a low early bird price. I want you to come and join us. If you have struggled with this in the past, if you have the ability to attend this, I want to completely shift what's going on inside of you, to change the variables, to completely change the world around you so that you live in a reality where large sums of money are undeniably coming to you all the time. You can find a link in the description at www.brianscottlive.com/Austin-2026.